Okay.
Factory farming needs to end. Millions of animals are getting senselessly killed only to be wasted because of a shutdown in the supply chain. Problems like this are devastating to our country and to our agriculture. Approved methods for slaughtering poultry include slow suffocation by covering them with foam or by shutting off the ventilation into the barns. This is absolutely horrible methods and needs to stop immediately. A nationwide advisory issued Friday, April 24th by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and Animal and Plant Health Inspection Services said state veterinarians and government officials would assist with the depopulation of animals if alternatives are not found. Political leaders in Iowa have warned that producers could be forced to kill 700,000 pigs a week for this shutdown. Corporate farms contaminate streams, lakes, rivers, drinking water. They dry up residential wells. They're responsible for monocultures, deforestation, inhumane treatment to animals, air pollution. I personally have been affected by large-scale farms when I became ill at my favorite swimming hole. It was later found out that it was from the manure runoff from cows. Some of the sources I used for this report was Jim Mason from Environmental Magazine, Kate Good, Claire Aaron, Kayla Kutzer, Pace University Law School, Pew Charitable Trust, a website, Farm Sanctuary, and it covers factory farming and the environment, and is an excellent source on problems with factory farms. Factory farms are ruining the world around us. Bankers, politicians, and legislatures allow it to perpetuate. Large concentrations of animals in small areas make inhumane conditions. In 2002, most cows in the U.S. came from operations selling more than 34,000 head. And most broiler chickens came from operations that produce more than 500,000 birds. Many operations are in high concentrations around meat packing plants and poultry processing plants. Some of those are located near us in Wisconsin and in Minnesota. At one time, farms were dispersed among the nation's countryside where the waste could go back into the soil naturally. Now, water pollution from factory farms is a huge issue. Factory farms store animal waste in huge open-air lagoons, which are as large as several football fields. They are prone to leaks, and in 2011, an Illinois hog farm spilled 200,000 gallons of manure into an Illinois creek, killing more than 100,000 fish. Imagine if that was a stream you like to swim in or you like to fish out of. When lagoons reach capacity, farmers will truck the manure into fields and spread it. It does contaminate wells, not to mention if you live nearby, it smells so bad you want to gag all day long. A 60,000 egg laying factory full of layer heads jammed into rolls of cages stacked 4 high produces 82 tons of manure in a week. 50,000 hogs in a mega factory can produce over 3,000 tons of manure in a week. Factory farms in the U.S. generate more than 1 million tons of manure a day. This is absolutely horrible for our streams and lakes, and our wetlands. It is the number one source of pollution for rivers and streams, number two source of pollution of wetlands, the number three source of pollution in the lakes. Donald Trump specifically stated he would eliminate needless job killing regulations on the books, and he pointed to WOTUS, Waters of the United States, which is an effort of the federal government to clarify the Clean Water Act. The new rule would let landowners determine for themselves whether they need to be in compliance of certain federal regulations. That is an absolutely horrible idea, because factory farms have been known to cut corners and could deliberately dump waste into sensitive environments. 75% of antibiotics fed to farm animals go undigested and end up in their urine and manure. Monocultures are single crop farms, and they pose a huge risk to food security because the crops are so genetically similar that a crop epidemic or environmental change could wipe out the entire crop. This happened in a potato famine. If any of you have ever heard of it or are interested, you should look it up. Agriculture sucks up 70% of the world's fresh water, and here in Wisconsin it is a huge problem because it dries up wells. 94% of animals farmed for human consumption come from factory farms. They are known as concentrated animal feeding operations, or CAFO. These types of practices really need to end. Some things that you can do to combat factory farms is call your local congressman and voice your concerns. If you have concerns about drinking water, you can get it tested of various different methods. Thank you for listening to my speech.